All right, we are live. It's April 19th, technically April 18th, um, just 10 minutes into the new day. But yeah, yesterday I ran my first marathon. I wanted to do a marathon for a long time, and I have been talking about this with my friends for a long time that, oh yeah, one day I'll run a marathon, and I just wanted to get this out of my system. And I don't know what happened on Wednesday. I was out for a walk, I was out watching the beautiful sunset, and something just spoke to me. You have to run a marathon. And then I did it. What exactly happened? I have no idea. I was listening to a bunch of I was listening to a bunch of content. I think Zach Pogrob, he's one of the inspiration. I came across one of his tweets, which is actually very interesting. So one of this one of his tweets kind of moved me, and I was like, what can I do? What can I do? All right, here it is. You have to realize you have spent the last decade creating 1% of what you were capable of. This should keep you up at night. This should crawl through your skin. This quiet dissatisfaction should sit at the top of your skull, like a blanket of regret you can't get off. Accepting this will hurt. It will be hard, especially if you have outward success, status, or attention. But this feeling is a signal that you are meant to do more, that you are meant to be more. You are a creator, you are an artist, you are an inventor, you are an innovator. You just haven't had the courage yet to see if you actually are. Life is a suicide mission that you are treating like a training run. We know how this ends. Don't let it end wondering what you could have done. I think this one line, I remember reading this again and again because it kind of really stuck with me. Life is a suicide mission that you're treating like a training run. And I was like, okay, I haven't trained for a marathon, but I know myself. Even for the half marathon, I've never trained, but my friends, they were like, we're going to run half marathon. I was like, let's do it. And then I ran it. I felt terrible, but I was back. And I was like, okay, I'll just wake up with the same mindset. I'll just make it happen. I said this to a couple of my friends that, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. I just want to make myself accountable, and I won't go to bed until I run 42.195 kilometers. And then we did it. And then we did it. It was really hard. The first 30 kilometers, I still remember like the around 20 kilometers, I really felt invincible. Around 20 kilometers, I was like, wait, I can do this. I can make it happen. I was listening to a bunch, I was blasting Linkin Park all the time, both old and new. And until 20 kilometers, I felt invincible. When I hit 30 kilometer, I was broken. I was broken. I didn't pack good amount of food. The gels that I had, they all had expired. I didn't prepare at all for this. I remember there was a point where I was really hungry, and then I get to this bench. I find this lady who is on a bike, and I'm like, "Hey, do you have any food?" And she's like, "I got blueberries. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?" And then I ate some blueberries, and that really helped me. And then I kept going further, and then I found this cafe where I bought a chocolate banana loaf and chocolate banana muffin and an iced latte and a Powerade, and that was really good. That was really good. Wow, wow, this was a great experience. But yeah, last night was terrible because I thought I should be okay, but then I got back. My body was hot, my head was hot, my face was hot, my eyes were burning, I was sweating. If the moment I had to be under the blanket, the moment I put the blanket off, I started feeling really cold. And then throughout the night, it feels like your lower body is totally paralyzed. Your lower body is totally paralyzed. You can only move the upper body. Then my roommate Charles, thank you, Charles made me. Charles gave me some of the food because I didn't even get proper food. right after the run, I went to the gym. I got a smoothie. I sat in the steam room. I was feeling good. I was feeling okay. It's actually crazy. All all that bad stuff started happening like when I when I thought I wanted to go to bed. And it's interesting because I was not even feeling sleepy. It was just around 8, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I wasn't even feeling sleepy, but my body needed rest. So I'm just lying over there. I cannot move. And what do? I also need to distract myself from all this pain. So I just found a bunch of comedy videos that I was watching until I fell asleep. And then today I woke up at around 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Got ready. I don't know how it took me 3 hours to got to get ready, but then at 7 I went and get some proper food, a lot of meat, a lot of protein. But yeah, that's my story. Also, I don't know, like maybe we also, because we did a lot of things, keep adding up, keep compounding over here. So we also did a stream on 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 running shoes, and that was also really cool because I found this on their website, which I found this on this mission on On's website, which is again beautiful. At On, we believe incredible things happen when humans move. Being in motion taps into the place in the subconscious where inspiration lies. It's called flow state, a mindset where action and awareness blur together, leaving us leaving us fully immersed in the moment. A hack for the mind helping us to dream bigger and better. Being in motion taps into the place in the subconscious where inspiration lies. It's called flow state, a mindset where action and awareness blur together, leaving us fully immersed in the moment. A hack for the mind helping us to dream bigger and better. Yeah, a lot of things were coming together for this marathon to happen. I remember going on a run 2 weeks ago with a couple of friends, and again, this conversation of marathon came up, and I was like, I'll do it soon. And then I was like, and then yeah, 2 days ago, I was just like, I have to make it happen now. This is in the best, I think I'm in a really good shape from a health perspective to take a lot of pain, even though I'm not well trained, because I think I can recover pretty fast. And I'm really lucky that everything's good. Everything's good. I think I just need a couple more days and we should be back. We should be able to walk around at the same pace. I couldn't walk fast. Uh, this was great. This was great. Yeah, putting myself through too much pain. And it's very interesting. I actually put myself through a lot of pain just because I didn't plan for water, I didn't plan for food, I didn't train, and I'm running alone. Yeah, and that's my first marathon. That is bad, but that was fun. Yeah. Okay. This was very interesting. What did I want to look into? Also, yeah, one more thing that I remember of is this book, uh, Murakami Haruki Murakami. So I have one of these books over here, which I picked up from a Japanese furniture store, I believe, and the book is again of Haruki Murakami, who is a writer and also a runner, and I believe he had this very interesting thing where actually I haven't read this entire book, but the only thing that is most interesting to me is when he says that he loved running, he used to run and then ride. These are the only two things he used to do. But then he ran an ultra marathon once and it broke him, and it took out all the sense of joy he had for running out of it. And that was very interesting. That was very interesting. Let's look into this. Haruki Murakami. My entire body is working pretty slow right now. Yeah, but let's see. Haruki Murakami quotes on running. Avid runner often weaves his experience with running into his writing, particularly in his memoir. This is again very similar to what On has been talking about. that running is when action and awareness blurs together. Being in motion taps into the place in the subconscious where inspiration lies. Being in motion taps into, I love this quote, I love this line, but I can never remember this. Being in motion taps into the place in the subconscious where inspiration lies. A mindset where action and awareness blurs together, leaving us fully immersed in the moment. Wow, so many things have come together for this marathon to happen. Also, so many people, so many friends around me. This was a really hard thing. This was a really hard thing. And I couldn't have done this alone, obviously. What I talk about when I talk about running on perseverance and perseverance and pain. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. This quote encapsulates Murakami's view on enduring the challenges of running, suggesting that while physical discomfort is unavoidable, the mental choice to suffer is not. I remember at one point I just like lied on a bench. I was lying on the bench because I was like I couldn't do this anymore. But I really wanted to do it because again, this is the youngest I will ever be when running a marathon. And if I had already finished 30 kilometers, I just need to do 12 more and we should be, and that's it. And I didn't want to go over this all over again. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is very similar to one of those quotes that people have, right? We thought we did it because we thought it was easy. Mm. Yeah, same. I thought it was easy. On the necessity of focus. To keep on going, you have to keep up the rhythm. This is the important thing. And following this rhythm, you can allow any extraneous thought to slip into your head. The meditative discipline required in running, where maintaining a steady rhythm demands mental clarity. On self discovery through running, I'm the kind of person who has to experience something physically, actually touch something before I can fully understand it. That's why I run. Running for Murakami is a tactical way to connect with himself and process life's complexities. On the solitary nature of running, people sometimes sneer at those who run every day, claiming they will go to any length to live longer. But I don't think that's the reason most people run. Most runners run not because they want to live longer, but because they want to live life to the fullest. This is very interesting because that's true. When you run, you are in pain, you are out in the world, you are out in your city, you are experiencing life to the fullest. Again, being in motion taps into the place in your subconscious where inspiration lies. So you're not only experiencing the city, you are in pain, which means minutes. You're counting every minute. Hours, it's not like you're just sitting and hours are passing by. No, time is passing by slow because you are in pain. And then you are also around the city, so you are capturing a lot of memories over there. And then something inside you, your inner voice is really strong at that point in time. Wow. People sometimes sneer at those who run every day, claiming they will go to any length to live longer. But I don't think that's the reason most people run. Most people, most runners run not because they want to live longer, but because they want to live life to the fullest. On the daily commitment to running, the most important thing we can do is to keep moving forward step by step, day by day. Murakami emphasizes the value of consistent effort, a principle he applies to both running and writing. On running as a metaphor for life, in long distance running, the only opponent you have to beat is yourself, the way you used to be. This quote underscores running as a personal journey of self improvement where the true competition is internal. How many kilometers does he run? I'm guessing he runs around 8 to 10 kilometers every day. Okay, 10 kilometers per day, 6 days a week. Wow. When he's in regular running routine, he mentions this as a consistent baseline for his training, though he occasionally adjusts his distance depending on his schedule or when preparing for marathons or ultra marathons. For example, during marathon training, he may increase his weekly mileage significantly, sometimes running up to 60 kilometers per week or more. Steve Prefontaine quotes on running. Known as Pre was a legendary American distance runner whose fierce competitive spirit and bold philosophy on running left a lasting impact. Below are some of his most iconic quotes about running, drawn from various sources, reflecting his views on effort, guts, and the art of the sport. On giving your all, to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. This encapsulates Prefontaine's belief that talent is a gift that demands full commitment, a call to runners to push their limits relentlessly. On racing with guts, a lot of people run a race to see who is fastest. I run to see who has the most guts, who can punish himself into exhausting pace, and then at the end punish himself even more. Pre saw running as a test of mental and physical endurance, valuing resilience over mere speed. A lot of people run a race to see who is fastest. I run to see who has the most guts, who can punish himself into exhausting pace, and then at the end punish himself even more. On making races a battle, I'm going to work so that it's a pure guts race at the end, and if it is, I am the only one who can win it. This reflects a strategy of setting a brutal pace to ensure victory came down to sheer willpower when he believed he was unmatched. On making races a battle, I'm going to work so that it's a pure guts race at the end, and if it is, I am the only one who can win it. Setting a brutal pace to ensure victory came down to sheer willpower, where he believed he was unmatched. On the drive to compete, somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. Prefontaine's fierce competitive spirit shines here, emphasizing that any opponent would have to match his extreme effort to win. On running his art, some people create with words or with music or with a brush and paints. I like to make something beautiful when I run. I like to make people stop and say, I've never seen anyone run like that before. It's more than just a race, it's a style. It's doing something better than anyone else. It's being creative. Previewed running as an expressive creative art, aiming to leave a lasting impression through his unique style. On the purpose of running, you have to wonder at times what you are doing out there. Over the years, I've given myself 1,000 reasons to keep running, but it always comes back to where it started. It comes down. It comes down to self-satisfaction and a sense of achievement. This highlights the intrinsic rewards of running for pre, where personal fulfillment trumped external validation on relentless effort. No matter how hard you train, somebody will train harder. No matter how hard you run, somebody will run harder. No matter how much you want it, somebody will want it more. I am somebody. This quote shared widely on X underscores Pre's mindset of being the one who outworks and outwells everyone else. No matter how hard you train, somebody will train harder. No matter how hard you run, somebody will run harder. No matter how much you want it, somebody will want it more. I am somebody. Every time once you read this quote, you gotta read this all over again to realize how beautiful this is. On pain and endurance, the guy who can drive himself further once the effort gets painful is the guy who will win. The guy who can drive himself further once the effort gets painful is the guy who will win. Prefontaine believed that enduring pain was the key to victory, a testament to his ability to push beyond physical limits. I remember when it was getting really, really painful. I just kept remembering of this scene. I don't know what movie it is. I don't know what that is, but it's a scene where this one army guy, military guy gets shot, and the other guy comes to him and he's like, "Shut up and take the pain. Shut up and take the pain." And I was like, I kept telling myself, just take the pain, take the pain, take the pain. Interesting. Most popular. Tell me about the recent. Let's see. Tell me interesting facts about the recent boom in running. Particularly since COVID 19 has reshaped the sports landscape driven by shifts in lifestyle technology and social dynamics. Approximately 28.7% of current runners started during the pandemic, fueled by gym closures and a shift to outdoor activities. 65% increase in running and jogging activities as people replaced commuting times with exercise. This led to a significant uptick in runners logging miles, with many maintaining the habit post pandemic. Motivations have shifted. New runners prioritize physical health, 72% cited as a primary motivation, up 18% from pre pandemic universe runners, and stress relief over competitive goals. This reflects a broader trend where running is seen as a holistic health practice rather than just a sport. Older runners, in particular, value self esteem and health orientation over recognition. Rise of Gen Z and social running. Gen Z is a major driver, with 75% preferring to run with others and 72% joining run clubs for social connection. 19% of NYC marathon finishers were in their 20s, up from 15% in 2019. And the LA marathon saw 20 somethings rise from 21 to 28%. Run clubs like Calgary's Offline Wellness Club draw hundreds weekly, blending exercise with socialization. Inclusivity and diversity. Running has become more inclusive, with influencers on platforms like TikTok showcasing diverse runners, slow, plus sized, and more. Women's participation has grown significantly, with 50.24% of runners in 2018 being female, a historic milestone. The US leads with 45.7% female marathon runners globally. Marathon tourism boom. Racecations are trending, with runners choosing races for exotic locations. Strava's 24 report noted a 9% increase in marathon and ultra marathon participation, in Running USA found location as the top factor for race selection. 24 NYC Marathon set a world record with 55,000 finishers, boosted by international runners. Economic impact. The running boom has fueled massive retail growth. The global running shoe market is projected to hit $20 billion by 2026, with the broader sports apparel market expected to reach 298.06 billion by 32. Major marathons like Chicago 547 million and Boston 409 generate significant economic activity for host cities. Technology and super shoes. Innovations like carbon plated super shoes have made running faster and more accessible, reducing energy expenditure. Running apps Strava, Garmin saw a 27% user increase in 22, with 84 million users. So, about 40% of runners use GPS watches and 30% use apps, enhancing training precision. Virtual races and accessibility. New runners are 115% more likely to favor virtual races, reflecting a preference for flexibility. This trend, combined with running's low cost, no gym membership required, has lowered barriers to entry, making it appealing amid rising living costs. crowding challenges. The boom has strained race capacities. 95% of New York Roadrunners races sold out, up from 89%, and events like the Denver Colfax Marathon sold out for the first time. This has sparked debates about overcrowded courses, especially for faster runners aiming for personal records. Right, the faster runners, they are going for personal records. So if there are too many people, yeah, you want to be careful. Trail running and community growth. Trail running has surged by over 20% since 2020, with Finland boasting the highest proportion of female trail runners. Social run clubs like Midnight Runners and Nice Jewish Runners emphasize community addressing post pandemic loneliness. Comparison to Prefontaine Murakami. Prefontaine's focus on guts and competition, or Murakami's solitary introspective running. Today's boom is social and inclusive, driven by community and health rather than elite performance. Prefontaine's era glorified speed. Modern runners often prioritize finishing over time. While the boom is strong, some wonder if newcomers will stick with it, especially with economic pressures like inflation affecting gear costs. However, the rise of run clubs and virtual races suggests lasting appeal. I think that's a very poor argument, because yeah, you can just not buy gear, and yeah, you can run with a basic t-shirt, basic shorts, and basic running shoes. But that was great. Yeah, my brain cannot handle anymore, but this was great. My first marathon experience, some quotes from Prefontaine, some quotes from Murakami, and some interesting insights about the